Hey guys, how are you? This is Raghu Chakravarti. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Actian. Wanted to give you guys a quick view into our hybrid cloud data warehouse, Avalanche, that's currently available on-prem as well as in the AWS and Azure public clouds as a fully managed service where we do the patching and upgrading and monitoring and keep it running while you guys just use the data warehouse for your needs. So once you log into Avalanche, this is what you see. You start working with the warehouses, the data warehouses that you have access to, or you can go ahead and create a brand new data warehouse in the service provider of your choice. All you would do is you would give it a name um, to a warehouse, and you pick and choose your provider, whether it's Azure or AWS. We support them both right now. You can create one in each if you want. And go ahead and choose a region. We support pretty much a comprehensive list of regions across the entire globe. Go ahead and pick a region and pick a size for your data warehouse. It could be as small as 2 Avalanche units for gigabyte size workloads. And for petabyte size workloads, go ahead and pick the largest cluster as you need. We do help you with this and go ahead and pick that. So as we create a warehouse, it's by nature and default locked out for access. You would provide IP-based whitelisting, or you can even whitelist your corporate VPN-based access, and you can set that up. And that way, only people that you want to have access to get access to this. We have the notion of compute and storage separation, and we do that. And to enable that, you basically say, please stop the warehouse when there is inactivity beyond an hour or 2 or 3 hours. So with that capability, you actually save a lot on costs in terms of compute costs because that, as you know, is the most expensive one. If there is no activity in the data warehouse, you can always start it up once there is some activity going on and do it like that. So you create a data warehouse pretty easily. It takes about 10-15 minutes to create a warehouse, and you will have it available in this list, and you can start working with it. This is an Azure data warehouse that I created a while back. It's 8 AUs. It can handle a few terabytes, about 20 to 50 terabytes in that range, and this is the most common and most popular choice for us. I also have, so you can get an overview of the warehouse here, and you can do a few things. You can scale it up and down as you need, as your compute grows during the day or compute lessens during the night. You can scale it up to a larger data warehouse. And because of our compute and storage separation in Azure, uh, it it's pretty much instant. So you get a larger warehouse as your user community grows that accesses the data warehouse, and you can scale it back down as your compute needs are not there for the rest of the day. Okay, so this is totally up to you to do it. We also have this notion of external table where you can create an external table in our data warehouse and point it to files that you might have in your ADLS, ABFS, or S3 buckets. You just provide the login credentials and provide a directory where the files might be. Let's say it's Parquet or CSV or JSON files that are out there that you want to query. You can create an external table, and here what you do is you just set the storage account authentication and the information, and we let you create tables against this particular location. You can also reset your database connection password from right here. In the connections UI, you get um, the connectivity strings to common third-party tools, whether it's ODBC, JDBC, or SQL tools that you want to connect to, or BI tools. You get these connection strings, which you would just cut and paste right into your tool of choice, and you get access to the data warehouse right away. In case you need to download the client runtime, it's right here, and go ahead and do that. We also have integrated query access. This is a SQL editor that you can query data directly from. Here, you can just run a query and against the tables that you have access to, and it returns, and you can see the data as well as you can plot graphs against how the data looks, so you can make some decisions right here based on the data that's already there. So this is one important thing, right? Like, so we at Actian have our vector engine as the database enterprise database engine behind the scenes for the Avalanche platform. And we have created the vector engine to be highly performant. It's got six important technical characteristics which makes it a highly performant database. And as you can see, the query performance is an important characteristic that you would want in a cloud data warehouse, and we got that for you. We beat our competition anywhere from 3x, three times, to about 50 times in terms of performance, query performance, that is. I talked about the notion of an external table. You can definitely create an external table pointing to that ABFS location that you've already configured in the configuration tab. And here I've created an external table pointing to a Parquet file that I have parked in my ABFS location. And underneath, we use Spark to query the external table. And you don't need to import data. You don't need to move it in. If you want to, you can. You can create a table as pointing to this Parquet file. But what you can do is you can create an external table and then run an aggregation. Here I'm running an aggregation query against it. And yeah, as you can see, it's pretty quick. You know, now you have the flexibility of easily accessing hundreds of thousands of files that you might have in your data lake, whether it's S3 or ADLS or ABFS. Just point it to it and we can bring it in. You can always join this table now with any of the other tables that you have persisted in our data warehouse, or just use it as is without having to import anything in. So that is our integrated UI and the powerful data warehouse that we bring to you. So what good is a powerful data warehouse in the cloud if you cannot really easily load and unload data from it? A lot of our competition says go to third-party tools, use an ELT or an ETL or some other tool to load data into it. And that really creates a lot of friction and complexity, right? As we all know. So what we have done is integrated connectivity right into the platform. So that's what this integrations tab is all about. So right here, we give you pre-configured templates that packaged into the platform that you can readily use by providing a few input parameters and run the configuration, and voila, it loads data from the specified location, and you can start working with the data instead of having to worry about loading an ELT and so on and so forth, right? So what we do here is, let's say, I want to load a CSV data from my specified Azure Blob Store. You would load this template like here, and then define the input parameters to it, and go ahead and just run the template, and it will give you the data that you need, right, into the table that you specified. So for example, I'm saying take the sales history CSV file from my ABFS location and load it into this table in the data warehouse, DCFD sales history, and give it to me, right? It's as simple as that. We have a lot of templates. You see a sample here, but we do have a lot of templates that's available for you to run the configuration again. So go ahead and run these configurations, or you can schedule it, and you'll get your data as you need. So that is great, but a lot of folks say, you know what, I don't want to use your tools. I want to bring my own tool. Do you guys have that? Sure. You can start working with a tool like dbeaver, for example. which is a SQL query tool. You point dbeaver to the Avalanche cluster up in the cloud and start querying the data right there. So you bring your own favorite tool and it works. We also work with all of the common BI tools that are out there, such as a Tableau, and you can start directly working on the data that you have access to and build dashboards and do all of the analytics you want in your own favorite BI tool. So that is in effect how you work with Avalanche. Hopefully this was informative. So Avalanche is available for a free trial. Go ahead and give it a shot at actine.com/avalanche. And I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you guys. Bye.